Hey everybody, welcome back to Success in Real Estate. And here I am on my deck because today I am working from home. It's been a hell of a week. And I have my granddaughter here who's a toddler, and she'll literally probably try to crawl on my head if I was inside. But that leads to this week's topic. When you got into the industry, you really thought you got into this industry for selling houses. I hear it all the time. Why'd you get into real estate? Well, I love houses and I'm interested in architecture, or even sometimes I hear because I love people, which is good, which is great, right? But it's not this big social club that you would imagine. And I've shared before, honestly, 2021 has been one of the most difficult years of my life. And it has really opened my eyes to the blessing that I'm in the industry that I am in. It truly is the only industry where the more you work on yourself, I would say that's true for any industry, but it's really clear for me in this industry. And maybe it's because it's only my industry, but the more you work on yourself, the better your book of business is, the better you can relate to your clients, the better leadership skills that you are developing. And our clients desperately need leadership. That's what they need. So you got into the leadership business, you got into the lead generation business, you got into almost any business but the house selling business. Of course, that is a product of what we do on a daily basis, but it's not ultimately where our focus should be in order to grow. The other thing that became so crystal clear to me in the last couple of weeks, I went to an event and I got to hear this amazing, successful, beautiful woman of color who actually lives in Vegas and has a couple of brokerages not in Vegas, in Atlanta, and she just opened a couple of the brokerages throughout. And in dealing with one of our new agents who's dealing with a Section 8 client, and how literally the client is being not taken seriously because they are Section 8, and how inclusivity is an issue in this industry. So not only do you get the opportunity that if you're focusing on yourself, you're going to have the most success, but honestly, we are in a position to impact lives and help people and solve the housing crisis before we end up like Sweden. We desperately need education on affordable housing. We definitely need to take leadership on inclusivity in not only in who we are focusing on for our own personal book of business. I personally have been rewarded more oftentimes by helping the Section 8 person, and at a loss, a financial loss typically, in helping someone like that find housing. But what has come back to me, both personally and monetarily, has always been tenfold. And so I think it's super important, and we're going to be personally working on an event so that we're, number one, there's an industry issue in inclusivity and diversity as a whole, as far as realtors go. I think a large population is white and maybe female. I don't know. So in our hiring process and who we're attracting to the industry, so that's one side of it. And then the other side is who we're supporting and helping in our community. We don't get to decide who our community is. Our community is what our community is. And I do feel, number one, we have a responsibility to help everybody in it. But the blessings, if you actually start to make sure you incorporate into your book of business to be helping people who are a little less fortunate and who need the more housing that we can provide for everybody, the better off we are as an industry as a whole. And right now there's a really unfair, I don't want to call it a game, but I don't have another word, being played. There's a lot of hedge funds that have bought up a ton of real estate. There's iBuyers out there buying up a ton of real estate, and it's literally causing a housing crisis and housing shortage. Yep, a lot of us are extremely happy at the income that has come in since the pandemic started in this extreme housing market that we have seen, and it has been something amazing and keeping our economy together. But there is a negative side, And I honestly feel we need to switch gears a little bit and focus on the people who are being harmed by this extreme housing. And it is um, obviously people of minority oftentimes, and not always, look, our own children, my daughter's 26 with a baby, and, her ability to be able to afford housing in an area where we live, number one, is an issue, but number two, even the availability is just not there, and that's a problem. And we are blessed to be able to be ambassadors and make this a focus and make sure we're incorporating this into our book of business. It doesn't have to be your primary focus, but however, the blessings that we are bestowed when we are putting our focus towards helping the entire community um, is an intangible result that will reap rewards for a really, really long time. So, yep, it's been a tough week. So I'm more in a nostalgic, emotional place. But I'm so grateful to be in this industry where I can switch my focus when I want to and know what is important to my community. We have recently come out with a slogan, community first, and that's going to be a huge emphasis for us at J. Phillip Real Estate, and I hope for you personally as well. And if you're at a brokerage where you don't feel like that's happening, it's something that you can simply do on your own. I have been super involved in my community. I'm just making that little shift, right? So not just being involved so that I get a huge sphere of influence. And, my influence has always been elected officials and business owners and whatnot. So now I want to make that shift and make sure, not in my personal book of business, obvious, because I'm not really listing and selling. I'm running a company and supporting and growing agents, but in our company as a whole, to make sure that we are caring for our entire community, because I know firsthand the benefits that will be bestowed upon all of our agents. So hopefully you get the message that I'm trying to portray today. And see that hot tub behind me? I'm going to hop in that. It's been a long week. So stay tuned. And if there's anything I can help you to be more successful in real estate, please reach out. My contact information is below. I believe my coaching link is below. I'm happy to hop on a session and help you work through and break through. Have a fantastic weekend.